And we are officially live. So happy everyone. It looks like we're less and less people here, but Ida must be busy with something. So, and we have a new face, which we did introduce John last week, but here he is again.
Thanks for having me back again. I'm excited to be co-hosting with you guys.
I know. It's going to be a little different energy, which is always good. See, here's the thing. A lot of people, they don't like change, but for me, change is the spice of life. And the thing is that, the sooner we can get used to change and roll with it, so much easier our life is going to be, right, John?
Yeah, well, it is. It's so important to accept that because things are always evolving and always changing. So you can either embrace that change or be afraid of it and bury your head in the sand. You get to kind of choose.
Yeah, and the thing is that it's so much energy also to be hanging on to the old that has always been, and because people resist so much, and there's a lot of energy in the resistance.
Yeah. I think, I'm going to parallel that to my industry, like in the financial services profession. Technology has been one area where so many people resist it. And yet at the same time, embracing that has created so many good things for what we do. So that can be applied to basically every facet.
Yes.
By the way, a baby's crying in the background, so hopefully that's not too intrusive for this conversation.
Oh, yeah, it's funny because it's not coming to. I don't hear the baby at all.
Okay, good.
But I know it's the dad mode that's coming up. I know how that works. It's like, oh.
Yeah, in my household right now with the quarantine, you've got babies, you've got children, dogs, any sorts of things are bound to happen. So
right, yeah, we just get to know you better, right?
Yep, exactly. That's true. And just like we're talking about change, we all had to change and evolve in this quarantine, and here we are doing it. Look at us live streaming from our respective residences.
That's right. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. What can I say?
Amen.
Yeah. And I have to say, I am just so fortunate that I have been able to continue to work, and my work has been pretty much as busy as it was before with regards to being able to work from this platform as well. I do see a few people in person. So that piece hasn't, really impacted me with regards to reduction in pay, because that is a huge stressor.
Sure.
However, being able to be home for me has been really wonderful, because I spend long days away. So it's kind of like, I get to know my home again and enjoy beautiful birds and sit by the water and all that good stuff. So
yeah. In a lot of ways, it's certainly more peaceful. Have you found being able to communicate, like, I assume it's through like Zoom meetings and stuff like this? Are people finding, are they surprised at how good and convenient it can still be conversing this way? Are they enjoying it? What have you found the reaction to be?
There's been a little bit of getting used to for people. I was so used to Zoom from all this other stuff. So for some people, this was not their mode of meeting and such. So sometimes it was that getting used to, does my phone or my laptop have a camera, and how do I get it up, and this, that, and the other, so some people have found that some people miss that in-person piece. Now, a lot of people, because I do use my modality EMDR through this here too, and they've been really surprised at how it's possible to do that, because it's kind of different. We used bilateral stimulation, and which
that's cool.
Yeah, it really is. And it's just so cool that it still works like this.
Yeah.
It's so powerful. People, they have these shifts that, are emotional and physical, and, on every level. And to be able to still provide that from this platform is is immense.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, technology is definitely a blessing right now. I mean, imagine being quarantined even back in 1990. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, it's, you think about it, like in such a short time frame, so much we've come so far in terms of how we can utilize technology.
Oh my
And
gosh.
even like with our clients, you know, we have some who have always been meet at the office, face to face, quarterly meetings, and they like that, and so do we. But it's been kind of nice to show people, hey, look how we can do this,
Yeah.
despite the challenges of not being able to get out and physically see each other. So it's technology has been a blessing in that way.
For sure. For sure. Yeah. I would have probably have to admit I might have gone a little batty crazy if it hadn't been. I don't know. Or just embrace becoming a hermit. I don't know.
We've got one of two ways. Yeah.
Right.
Too funny.
I know. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not usually somebody who gets way into stuff, but I am really seriously done with the Rona hairdo here. I can't wait for my hairdresser to open up. So how do you keep your hair so nice and short like that?
Lots of gel. You can't. It's because you're looking at me straight on. You can't see how long it's getting. And for my birthday was a couple of weeks ago, and for my birthday, my wife said, "All right, we're gonna bust out like the old school, like I have an old trimmer kit," and she's like, "We're gonna try to shorten this a little bit," and it went okay. But fortunately, I got a text from my barber last week, and he said, "Hey, I'm making house calls now because they're still closed," and he said, "I'm making house calls, so I scheduled an appointment. So hopefully by the next live session we do, I'll be trimmed up, but right now it's just manipulated with a lot of hair gel."
Oh, well, it's working for me. I had to pull out my hair clips, and I don't know. And I was supposed to go see the hairdresser. He was hoping that he'd be open this week, and now he had to call me and bump it out another 2 weeks. So
oh no,
this look for a couple more weeks. I don't know. We'll have to see.
that's so funny.
I know. And clipping with the hair clippers is way harder than it looks, because my son used to want me to do it. He hasn't let me this year, which I'm surprised, because it's usually his summer thing I got to do. And I have been resisting. It's like, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? I'll take you to the barber or the hairdresser, wherever you want to go. It's like, no, he wanted me to do it. And this time he's like, nope, I'm waiting for the.
Yeah. Just grow it out phase, and they'll deal with it later.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of nerve-wracking using the clippers, because sometimes like I would do it on myself on the sides, and then my wife would do the back. It's a little nerve-wracking. So
yeah, it can really nip you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So fortunately, mine's making house calls now, and
it's good.
We'll get fixed up soon, and then hopefully we reopen here soon if everything trends in the right direction. So I saw that today's the day, right, where a lot of the businesses in Florida are open like at 20, like restaurants at 25% capacity, stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah. And well, the hairdresser said that they're in phase 2 now for the Orlando job that I do some work with. That I just got an email that we're still doing online at least through June 1st. So
gotcha.
Yeah. So then we'll see, but I'm good with that.
Yeah. Same here.
Yeah. So talk about all these changes and coping with it and whatnot. That brings us right to what the topic for tomorrow's show is, which is transcendence. What does transcendence mean? How can we really step into it and embrace it and learn and grow with it? It really truly is, to me, a lot about personal growth. And we're going to talk about what does it mean and 7 tips to helping you become more transcendent and step into that. So it's going to be good. It's going to be something that this is not the only time that we need to transcend. There's always something going on. I mean, we do tend to, I think I've talked about this before, tend to lull ourselves into thinking that certain things are pretty predictable, and I know when this is coming and that coming, and we can certainly plan. It's a good idea to have plans, as we talked about before. However, things happen, and then car accidents, illnesses, jobs, you may get fired or laid off or whatever, even outside of this period. This happens all the time, so how do we do that? And so some of the things that I think about, like people who have been in accidents and told you're never going to walk again.
Right.
Well, yeah. What's the difference between the person who doesn't and the person who does, after they've been told that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I will say I am definitely, I'm a student of like personal growth and development. So I know I will be listening and I'm excited to hear about it. But for the listeners, can you give maybe like one of the 7, give a little taste of one of the 7 tips, or are you reserving it for the show?
Oh, no, that's good. I will give one. A little teaser. And actually, one of them is meditation. So go figure. And, funny that this should be coming up after, it's like just finished our 30-day meditation challenge.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. Every night at 7 p.m. Now, there was a night where I ended up streaming on the wrong channel.
Doesn't matter. The commitment was there. You did it.
I did it. I posted the video on the right channel when we were done.
Perfect.
I got this little phone mic, which is actually pretty good, except that I used the wrong, because it was the first time I used it, I used the wrong cord. So that one didn't have sound. So it was the silent meditation. It's all good.
Perfect. Now I have a question actually
Yes.
about meditation, because I have been personally trying to get more involved in that over the last year. And probably close to a year ago, I downloaded an app and just, there was like a bit of a learning curve, which sounded weird, but I, for some reason, could never figure out, like conceptually, I understand what it means.
Yeah.
But I could never get to a place where I felt like I was doing it, like I'd listen to meditations, guided meditations or what have you. And I just kept thinking, am I doing this wrong? But maybe I'm overthinking it. So I'm curious about that. I kept reading about you have to focus on your breath or focus on a specific thing. Is that right?
Yes. And so, most people tend to overthink for sure. And because our brain, that's exactly the point, is our brain tends to just go and go and go and go and go and go and go. And that's the problem for a lot of people, especially when it happens at nighttime when you're supposed to go to sleep. And so, with meditation, I love, because there for a little while I was going to a Buddhist meditation group. And so I loved how he explained this. And this is what I've been using a lot with people when I work with them, is to, you're going to have thoughts that are going to come in, whether you're listening to a guided meditation or it's a silent meditation or whatever it is. We have 60 to 70,000 thoughts that come through our brain every day. I don't know how and who came up with that number, but that sounds about right. It's a lot. So they're going to come. And so one of the things he was saying was that when a thought comes, to just acknowledge it, okay, there it is, and then let it go. So acknowledge it and let it go. And a lot of people, they get stuck in, I don't know how to do this. I didn't write it right. I didn't empty my head and this, that, and the other. And it's not a light switch. Like you said, it is very much a training ground. And I noticed for myself that because I have never been that consistent, and, it's been here and there that I do it. And, but doing it consistently like that, there was one time I was doing a guided meditation. So I'm doing the talking, and all of a sudden, I would pause every once in a while, let people get into whatever the last thing was that I was saying. And then I just went deep, and it was kind of like, then I remembered, I'm still doing the guided meditation. It's so funny. It was funny.
Yeah. Well, it definitely, it certainly is just a learned skill that takes time. It would be the equivalent of stretching or going into the gym and exercising. It develops and takes time. I can remember some, like the first few times I did it, I would do short ones because I was intimidated by like a 40-minute meditation or something. So I do these little short ones, and I do a 10-minute one. And after the whole time, I'm like, I didn't even, my mind was all over the place. I don't even think I was paying attention. What did I do? And then after, just being like more thoughtful and mindful of it, like you said, like accepting that the thought comes through, it passes, and then you let it go. It's pretty transformative, really, to be able to create some stillness in your mind.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
for me, I don't know why, but when I do it, I choose to do it and like to do it early in the morning. I don't know if that's good practice or not. I guess just the fact that I do it's probably good. But do you find that there's a better time in the day for you to do it?
Well, for me, it seems to fit in better in the evening because then I don't have to worry about other things in the morning. But you know, it is do it
Sorry,
in the
I'm
morning.
leaving all over the place here.
That's okay. I
All
like
right,
that little
fixed it.
sound. It was very soothing. Um, uh, because when you do it in the morning, it's kind of like you set your intention, you get yourself calm and ready for the day, and so I think it's a really good thing. And a lot of the people that do meditation, practice it, teach it, and all that, they say that they do it early in the morning.
Yeah, yeah. I think for me, it's just, especially with everything going on in the world right now. I've talked about this before, like on past shows that I've been a guest on, where it's like focusing on what you can control. And I'm really big on having my routine and be like, that's the thing I can control. You know, it's hard to, there's not a lot in this world that we can't control, but I can control how I respond to stuff. I can control what I do. So my morning routine's kind of a big one for me. It's pretty important. And it includes meditation. I typically do that, or I'll replace it with like some form of, you know, even if it's like yoga or like stretching or something. Like it's good to get going in the morning like that.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And that's one of the things that, you know, all the people who teach success, peak learning, you know, that and the other, they all say, especially control the first hour or several hours,
Right.
last hour. And that's just a really great practice.
Yeah, I was telling a friend this the other day, but that first, so I'm at my best if I can get up at 5:30, because between my kids wake up around 6:30 in the morning, like clockwork. I mean, it's like boom. I mean, it doesn't matter like whatever time they go to bed, they're up at 6:30. And so that 5:30 to 6:30 window is really important to me. And I'm just at my best when I get it. And I'm definitely, when I don't get it, you know, you feel the difference throughout the day. So it is important to have that routine.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you grab that day before, especially with little kids like you have. I mean, then they just, it's, you know, little kids, they go here and there and every which way. So it's kind of, they have, you know, kidnapped your thinking and your body and everything.
Yeah. They take they take a lot of work. I mean, it's rewarding. It's about,
Sure.
Probably of the things I can think about in my life, it's the most meaningful, important things I've done, but is raising my kids. But yeah, they take a lot of work.
Yes. And I tell you what, I admire people who find a way to work from home, because it sounds great, but boy, I do have to really have some fortitude to focus on the work that I do. Especially because my kid, when he was that age, he was like this, you know, he was like Velcro. He couldn't do anything by himself. So yeah, it was practically impossible. And but I tell you what, like you, John, it's having my son has been the impetus for the biggest stretches and the biggest personal growth that I have done in my life. Whole new reason to be better.
It's so true.
Yeah.
It really is so true. And I think a lot of people right now are experiencing the whole work from home thing and managing kids and all that stuff. But nothing is more rewarding than, like, even after this, I'm going to walk out there and have lunch, and my daughter's going to be so excited to see me. And she does this thing now where she goes, "Daddy, are you done with your work today?" You know, so we're actually, you know, she's 3.5, but we're starting to have more conversation around what work is and why it's meaningful and why it's important, and we want to help people and all this stuff. So it's really cool. I'm starting to even see that shift in myself as she's learning and understanding like what, you know, mommy and daddy do. It's really cool. It's really
I
cool.
know.
We're trying to move on from the phase of her associating we work to make money to go to Disney World, because for some reason that's the thing that she picked up. And so she's like, did you go to work so we can go to Disney World, Dad? And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Where'd you even get that? So funny.
Yeah, I tell you, seeing the world through their eyes is a whole different perspective. Let me tell you.
Yeah, it's very sweet. It's endearing.
Yeah. I tell you. So that's good. And you know, when you have the wherewithal as a parent, like you do also, John, that to notice those changes in your child. So because that's the other piece, you know, that for me as a parent, sort of have dipped your toe in it a little bit, because yours is oldest is 3.5, but you know, as they move through each stage, it's kind of like, then you have to remember, oh wait, now I have to parent different. And like you said, now I have more conversations, and oh, I can do less. I don't have to do everything for them. And it's kind of like a little reminder, like, oh yes, I need to change how I do things.
Yeah, very true. And I'd be curious of your recommendation on this actually, but I've read a couple books just like about like the relationship between the father and the daughter, or like child psychology and stuff. Because to me, I want to learn and understand more about how like they're viewing the world and the shapes that like, you know, that they're taking in their own mind of things, and being able to understand what, you know, what they're going through so that I can be like a better dad. It's so fascinating to me. Like you said, I can see progression in terms of like even weeks will go by and all of a sudden she's doing this completely new thing overnight. And you're like, oh, well, she understands this now. Like, okay, all right. So now we're going to have to adjust. It's pretty cool, but you know, there's a lot to know about it. So
yeah. Well, you know, and like you said, being home, that you can see it more, you have more of that time. It's humongous. And so for me personally, I think that, well, our role with a mom and dad to daughter, son is important, but you know, the father-daughter role, you know, dads, I think they teach their daughters a lot about confidence and how they should be treated by males, and you know, just this to spark that sense of also dads also often, I'm not one to stereotype, but you know, just often will tend to encourage their daughters to be a little bit more physically adventurous, you know, hey, you can jump from here, or you know, little bit of rough housing, a little bit, you know, type of thing, and it's okay. And you know, and that also increases the girl's confidence that, you know, I am capable of doing more than otherwise I would have thought. It's funny because I was just writing a post about, you know, how the beliefs are come from in childhood, and depending on what the parents' beliefs are and how they parent is very much going to influence how the kid obviously grows up. And is the world dangerous, or is it safe? Can I go out, and am I capable, or am I not? So
yeah. Well, you make a good point. The other day I was playing basketball with one of the neighborhood kids. We were like shooting hoops and stuff, and my daughter saw that. And then later that night we're playing in the back patio, and we've got like a little Fisher Price like basketball thing. And we shoot like hoops all the time, but she watched me dribbling. And so now I find myself like every day, like we're working on her dribbling. And it's the cutest thing in the world that she saw that, wants to learn it. And then of course me as the dad, I'm like, oh no. Like, yeah, it's like a bonding thing. It's something that I enjoyed as a kid. It's, you know, I played basketball growing up, so I want to do that with her now. So it is true. Like we sort of lean into that a little bit, whether it's sports or whatever, like, but you know, for me, it's just fun seeing her grow. And knowing that evolution is going to happen for my son too. He's only 7 months now, but
Be a little while before you can play basketball.
Yeah. But you know what? I'm enjoying the smiles and the laughs that he's given. So
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. I tell you. Yeah, mine's 15 now. He's taller than me. He's 6 foot, maybe even more than 6 foot now.
What?
When I see him, because he's between myself and his dad, it seems like every week when he comes back, it's like he grew another, God knows, quarter inch or something like that. Gee.
Oh, that's awesome. Happening right before your eyes.
Yes, absolutely. It's amazing. So anyway, yeah, we could talk about this all day, but we have other things we have to tend to as well. So, so yeah, tune in tomorrow at 2 p.m. We'll be on here, and Ida got caught up in other stuff. So, which happens, like that's exactly what
Okay.
life happens. So tomorrow we're going to shift your life towards transcendence. The 7 tips on how can you step into transcendence.
Sounds great. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. All right. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye, guys.
Bye.